Yo, what's up? What's up? Start over. What's up, guys? Welcome to another issue or another broadcast of Atlanta DJ Zone Tech Tuesday Live. You're here with Kenyon Ellis Sr., aka The Kid. Tonight's topic is going to be something that I may have touched on a couple times before, but not a whole lot. And that's on necessities that you need whenever you are gigging or that you're doing your event. Now, I'm not going to go into it a whole lot. And if anybody have any questions, you can go ahead and get ready to have your questions up. So the podcast tonight is going to be very short. I'm gonna get to the point of exactly what you need and how to use it. So stay tuned. Give me just a moment. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. And like I said, tonight's topic is going to be on emergency necessities and stuff that you need to have whenever you're doing a gig to have in your gig bag to make sure that your events go flawless. Now, this topic came up because a couple days ago, somebody that in the zone group had an issue where somebody spilled beer on their laptop and mixer. And I gave the steps as for what they need to do or whatever. I even recommended some solution and stuff that you can use on it. And I have a can of it here to show you exactly what you need to get. But some of the stuff that you need to have in your necessity bag, as well as some other stuff that you need to have. Now, I wasn't able to grab everything that I needed to show you tonight. I was only able to grab some of it. So I'm only it's gonna be brief and short, and I'm just gonna show you what I got and recommend the steps of what you need to do with what I have. Now, if you have any questions about anything else, go ahead, get ready to post those questions in the comments so I can go ahead and answer. All right, and here we go. The first thing now, when you have liquid spills are usually the worst to have because you may have that patron or that guest or whatever that comes up to you and they have a beverage that's lingering over your equipment, and for some reason or some accident or whatever they end up spilling it. And if that gets into your laptop, it is very crucial to react quickly. At that point, right now, the event had just completely stopped. So at that point, all music is a no-go. You don't have no music playing because sooner and it's just a matter of seconds before you're completely down. So at that point right now, the gig is basically over. The person just ruined the whole event for you and your guests and their guests. So the first steps that you need to take now in the event, and I got my MacBook here. Now, in the event that liquid is spilled onto the face of your laptop, now depending on what type of laptop that you have, you need to react very quickly. If you have a MacBook Pro or anything that has keys with gaps in it, you want to react very quickly. The first thing that you want to do is power it down. Hold down the power button for 5 to 10 seconds or however long that it takes for the shutdown and power it down. Now, if you have a laptop that has where you can remove the battery, that's the next thing you do. Remove the battery. What you want to do, you want to disable all power to the device quickly. So the next thing that you do is that if it's spilled on top into the keys, you want to turn it upside down. You want to turn it down so the liquid starts to drain back out the way that it came in. Now, you may want to have somebody go get some towels or something, and you leave your laptop open like this, and you put towels or whatever to absorb whatever liquid is coming out of it. Now, you need to make sure that you have this completely horizontal. You don't want to have it like this, tilted. You don't want to have it like this. You want to have it so the liquid is not swishing and moving around inside the laptop. So you need to make sure that you have it level so the liquid is either in one place or it's moving to a place where it can exit. Now, in the event that if you have you probably can't do this with a MacBook. You probably can do it more with the Windows laptop. If there are vents nearby to where you can get the liquid to roll on the bottom of the case to where it's not making contact with the electronics and drain out through maybe an exhaust port or whatever, not through USB ports. You want to make sure that it drains out in an area where it's not going to be affected. You can try that method. Now, as for that point, you let it sit. Any other gear that you may have had liquid spilled on, take care of that. Because at this point right now, there's really not too much you can do until you get home later tonight. So you want to make sure that at that point, you're draining, everything is draining out to where there's no moisture in. Now, time is crucial. So at this point, the event is over. Unless you have backup gear. If you have backup gear, which you should anyway, a backup laptop, a backup, maybe a controller or something to continue through the night. It may not be a point to where the whole night is lost, that you have your backup gear. You just need to take a moment to set it up and you start playing with that backup gear until the event is over. Now, of course, the owner or the promoter, whoever hired you, is responsible for what that person did. So you need to take into account that whoever hired you for the gig, and you also need to make sure that you put this in your contracts. Putting this in your contracts also protects you from where you have to pay for your own gear. So make sure that you put that in your contract. Now, your client is responsible for what their friends and guests do. So now it's on their charge. What you want to do, um, maybe the next day or whatever, take the item and have it looked at to get it appraised to see if it can be repaired or if it needs to be replaced. In most cases, I would say go ahead and replace it because even if you got it to turn on and it start working the next day after you let it air it out and dry, and I'm going to mention some issues with letting that happen in a little bit. Once you let it air it out and dry, that it can cause issues later on down the line. So make sure that you get in contact with your client. The negotiations or your business with that client is not over. They have new sets of payments that they need to take care of. Now, in the event that if you have insurance and insurance can cover it, if you want to use that insurance, you can go ahead and do that and let and let the client pay the deductible for that. But I would say in most cases, don't rely on your insurance because what it may do besides with any other insurance, like if you're in a car accident or ticket or whatever, it makes sure and it'll make your premium go up or it make your insurance go up. So if you can handle it outside of insurance, do so. So make sure that you get your equipment appraised. Now, data is a different thing. Now, the client, you can't. Let me see how to say this. I don't think that you can make the client be responsible for the loss of your music and such. Now, having backups of your music is important. Whether you have physical backup with hard drives you may keep at the house, or if you have it backed up to the cloud, making sure that you have that is also important. So let's see where we're going from there. Backup. Okay, data. Your data is something that you need to make sure that you have backup. You can't charge them for all the music that's lost, saying that, well, I had 100,000 files and we rated at maybe $2-3 a track. Nah, you should have your music backed up anyway. You should have external backup drives. You should have backup drives at home. You should have clouds. Even if you're real technical, you will have NAS, which is network attached systems, I think, of something like that. But anyway, NAS and servers to where you have your equipment backed up. So what you're trying to do is basically get your equipment replaced. Like I said, I wouldn't necessarily go through and try to continue using it because there are long-term effects that can happen. And give me a second, let me take a drink and then I'm gonna get into that. Now, let's see, we've got a comment right here. What's up, Eric? Yep. Never want to go through that issue. Now, what I was saying a minute ago that I was going to get into, that once you had the liquid and stuff drained out as much as you can and you let it sit, the next step that you want to do as soon as possible, if the event is over and you're headed home, you want to make sure that you do this ASAP. And that is disassemble the unit. That's if you want to protect your data. Now, doing this, I would say the first thing to take out is the hard drive. Take out the hard drive because that's where your data is. That's if you store your data on your hard drive. And what I mean by data, your music, your videos, anything that can't be easily replaced. Now, your operating system and your programs are separate. They can be replaced. Your operating system can be installed on another drive as well as your programs. Now, your data itself, all your music, your 100,000 files, or whatever it is that you have, not that easy, or it may take a lot of time to recover. So if you save your music or whatever, if it's on your hard drive, pull your hard drive first. Now, the thing that I was getting to is that eventually over time, depending on what the liquid is that spill, if it's water, it's not, yeah, network area storage. I couldn't remember what the A was. I thought it was attached, but I'm thinking of something else. But anyway, if it's water, the issue that you're gonna have there is rust. If it's beer that has more of a acidic characteristic to it, you may want to get that cleaned off, as well as anything that's sugary like soda or tea or whatever. Anything that's going to cause damage to the main board, the motherboard, logic board, or whatever other parts inside. Now, I have here, there are some items that you can buy, and I'm going to pull that up in a minute. I have it pulled up for the person that I recommended. Now, this is something that I used to use in the past, and I think my light may be too bright. All right. Now, this is something that I used to use in the past, and I still use it from time to time. This is a company is called LPS, and it's basically a contact cleaner spray for electronics. And don't worry about the can. I'm going to pull it up. I have it pulled up in a minute. And what you could do, you could spray this on your board and take a toothbrush and clean off anything that may be caked on or whatever. You're basically flushing the board off. And this is safe for electronics. Now, in some cases, what I may do, I may douse the whole board and let it sit for a while, and then I'll take my air compressor blow gun and then just blow it off to blow off all the excess and then let it dry. Now, what you want to do with this is that you clean everything out of it, all the sticky substance, all the acid, whatever that may be still on the board, that didn't drain off when you start to drain. And this cleans the board off. Now, after you do this, you need to let it air out for a couple days, not a few hours. Give it maybe about 2 or 3 days, air it out at room temperature to cure and to be able to clean itself off. Now, let me pull up the list that I have for this, because there's a lot of different items that you can use. And besides LPS, which this right here, this is more of an industrial type. This right here probably runs maybe somewhere about 25, and I think I saw it to about 40 a can, but it works. And this stuff, this can right here is probably about 30 years old, and it's empty. It's empty. It's been empty for years, but I hold on to this can just for cases like this where somebody may have had something and I may not remember what it is. So I can go and grab the can and I show them, okay, this is what I used to use. This right here, this is the actual can or the actual stuff that I used to use. So this is something that you want to have in your bag. And let's see, where is that? Still looking for. All right, here we go. And I'm gonna do a shared screen. All right, let me do shared screen so I can show you what we got, and then I'm gonna point off which ones are best to use for this case. And this is from Granger, which they have stores all over the nation. But if you can't find it from Granger, I'm for sure they probably have it on Amazon as well. So you can go there. Oh, also some of these items you can find in your local auto parts store, whether it be Napa, AutoZone, Advanced Auto, O'Reilly's, or whatever. You may find some of the items, not all of them. And I think the particular brand that I usually see in there is like the one that's at the top, CRC. And let me magnify this. Too much. All right, and I'm gonna make this full screen. All right, now this item right here, this is contact cleaner spray, and this one would be a good one to use. This one right here, you could probably find in an auto parts store, and this is an industrial type. The thing that you want to look for is that plastic safe. Make sure that it's safe for plastic, because you don't want to spray it on plastic parts and it made this color or warp or whatever. So one of the things that you want to make sure is that it's safe for plastic and leave no residues. And this one is a quick drying formula. So no matter how much you douse it, it's going to dry up quickly. Let's see, what are the characteristics? And they don't mention much here. Let's see right here. And safe, removes right here. Features petroleum distillate alcohol blend that removes soil and other contaminants from sensitive electronic components. Quick drying, leave no residue. And like I said, this one right here would be a good one to use. This is about $16.50 a can. Now the other one, you go back. Now, I've never used the WD-40, and this is a different WD-40 than what you actually see in stores, the blue and yellow can. But you want to make sure that whatever you pick, that it's safe for plastics, because unless you remove, and with this, you don't have to remove the whole motherboard. You could just spray it as it is. But if you can remove the motherboard and remove separate components, then go ahead and do so. So one of the things you want to look for is safe, electronic sensitive electronics, dries quickly, leave no residue, and safe on plastics, which this one would be a good one to use as well. But I'm not familiar with the WD-40. So let me, all right, now this is the one. This one may be a little bit different because the can that I have is an old can, but this is the product that I use, or that I used to use. And yep, this is exactly it. This is it. It just, the can is different. No flash, electro contact cleaner. And you see how much it is. It's $40. And that's just one can. So I basically conserved this can whenever I had to use it. Or I would add up the cost of replacing this or material, because this is something that if I was doing something with a spill or whatever, it will be more because I would need probably more of these. I probably would need maybe half a can or maybe even a whole can to flush off whatever it is that I'm cleaning. And let's look for some photos. Here, see right here, you could use it to clean off electronics, even while they're hot. But I don't recommend using this product when things are plugged in. It's better to power things off and use it when it's not hot. And I think right here he is not. He has it. He has stuff disconnected. But make sure that you use. Make sure that when you use it, you don't have anything connected. So those will probably be the top three. And I think after that, they just had like there's several different other ones. And I'm not familiar with this brand, Spray Away. Not much on this one, so I wouldn't recommend this one. So I know CRC and LPS are the top two that I would recommend with WD-40 in third. Okay, why can I not scroll? Okay, there we go. Let's see what else we got. Okay, here is this is C. Okay, that one. Let's see if this one will work. Okay, this one doesn't have CFCs, which is a agent. Not sure what the chemical is called, but I don't know about that one. I'm not for sure about that one. Okay, it says it's safe on plastic, and it is a contact cleaner spray for electronics. So that one may be okay. And you see right here that I have the category listed by top sellers. This one was probably listed top based on the price, as well as WD-40. These two were based on probably their price, with this one probably being the best. Let's see if we could change the list. Well, they don't have it. So those are probably the top three. So, I mean, you're going to end up spending a good. Now, okay, now I see a question. And that is something that I want to mention too. Because I found okay, let me go out of this for a second. Because I see a question that I want to answer now. Stephen here mentioned the hoser. Now, while I was looking for other devices and other stuff that I can use to show off while I'm doing it, I ran across a little CAD catalog that I keep. And let me end this. This is a catalog that I have that has all the devices. I mean, all the different aerosols and products that they have. Now, I haven't went through here and looked at what they use. These mostly are like for cleaning, like fader cleanings and stuff like that. But I don't know as for on this type of level. With this type of level where you're having a spill, I probably wouldn't I probably wouldn't recommend this because it probably wouldn't be enough in there to be able to cover what you need to do. So having a tall 16 or whatever ounce can of this would usually work better. But let me see. Let me see which one that you mentioned. Contact cleaner. And see, they got several different classes. And now they do have stuff, but it's in the back. And I may need to look up the price if you can. I don't know if you can see this right here. This can right here. Camera may not zoom on it as good. All right, come on, zoom in, zoom in. That first can, contact cleaner. And I may need to look that up. But this stuff right here will be more difficult to find than the stuff here. The CRC stuff, and I think that was the name CRC. Like I said, you can find that in the auto parts store. You may be able to find the green can, the first can that was posted. But I know for sure AutoZone usually carries at least one of these cans. So you may be able to find this can. Now using the keg stuff is going to be difficult to find. I mean the D5, the red can and the green can you'll probably find in Guitar Center, but you only get 5 ounces. Now, if 5 ounces is going to be enough to clean off the board, and you may have to do it several times. You may have to spray it, and especially if you're using the stuff that dries quickly, spray it and take a toothbrush to get it in there and clean it and continue spraying it in order to get everything out. Then you may have to do it that case. Now, I would recommend that if you can't find any of the stuff that pointed the wrong way, any of the stuff that you see right here. So consider that, because the cleaner. Now let me ask you this: where did you get the cleaner from? What store did you get it from? Okay, Eric sent me a link with the product. Let me pull that up. Yeah, the link that you sent me I think it was one of the links that I already posted. Let's see. The link that you sent me was CFC, and I didn't go through all of them. It may have been listed because they got like several different ones. Well, like I said, what you want to find, you want to find something that's electronic safe, that's plastic safe, most likely quick drying. Quick drying means that it evaporates. It evaporates real quickly. Okay, this is the one. This is the one right here that you sent me. And like I said, I didn't go through all of them. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of them, with the main three or the main brands being LPS, CRC, and Spray On, where only that one from WD-40 was the only one that was listed that was different. All right, now let's see. All right, so back to my screen. All right. So, like I said, there is a lot of them, but with these, the ones that are at the top are probably the top sellers for Granger. But there are several different ones. Okay, here's one that's a protectant as well. And this is the thing. It says safe on most plastics, which I think some of them may be listed as that anyway. You just need to make sure that try not to get it on any plastic parts if you can, or if you do have it wiped off. The industrial stuff usually works better, which most of the stuff is more on the industrial level anyway, especially being over $10 a can. It's going to be very expensive and more on the industrial end. All right, let's see what else. And like I said, there are a lot of them. If there's a specific one that you want to consider and you want to ask me about it or whatever, then send me the link to that. Wow. Now this one right here, $71 a can. Let me see what makes this one so special. Okay, this one is a quick drying, quick penetrating, fast evaporator. And most of these come with like a little straw, a little tube to where you can get down to stuff more detailed. And this one is spraying a 66 block telephone block, but he's not using the straw. Non-inflammable, safe on plastics. But I don't know about, dang, $71 a can. That is, I didn't even realize that they can go that high. But you do have companies and manufacturers that oh yeah, I saw the link. The one that you posted, the one that you sent me it's down here somewhere. This one right here. That's the one that you sent me. Yeah, now, yeah, you can get them for less, but the characteristics and the properties and depending on the use and the contents is what you're going to pay for in a higher price. So yeah, that seems like a case price, but it says each, and there are others. I just saw another one that was the CRC. This is one can, $59 each. And of course, yep, you can find them cheaper on Amazon. You can find it cheaper, but this is Granger. I just pulled this up because I knew that if he wanted to get his hands on some quickly, which in this case he needed to, that he can find a Granger store near him or one of the larger Granger outlets, which this one is the one in Norcross off 85. But you do have Granger stores that are smaller and yeah. And there are Granger stores all over. Now you may need to call and find out if they have the one that you want in stock. But the reason I went with Granger because I knew that I would be able to find the item quickly. Now, like I said, you can try Amazon, huh? Uh, hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second. All right, guys, I'm back. Now, like I was saying, I only use Granger because I know that they have them and they have them in stock. I just couldn't remember the name, the LPS name. I knew it was in a blue and white can. I just couldn't remember what the letters was and the company as well as the other one. So I posted that one quickly to where the person that needed it, he would be able to research his own. Of course, Granger is going to be a lot more expensive because Granger caters to manufacturers, companies, and so forth. So on more like a residential level or personal, then yeah, you may want to try Amazon and you may want to try other places. But if you can't find it and if you need it fast and immediately, then you're gonna spend the money and get it from Granger because they're gonna have it in stock. So yeah, Granger is the best. You can when I used to work for Muzak, we used to get a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff used to come from Granger, sprays and chemicals and just a lot of stuff. Even some electricians and HVACs and plumbers and other people, they get a lot of their tools and supplies from Granger. So Granger provides a whole lot for the industry and commercial on the commercial side. So like I said, you could look Amazon, and matter of fact, I would look when I finish. I'll look and see what I can find on Amazon, which works best, and I'll try to put them down into the description whenever I get to editing this video. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing this long because if I'm going to edit it, I don't want to have a lot of stuff to take out. So that's it there. That's what I would recommend: taking it apart, spraying the stuff out, getting an old toothbrush, cleaning it while you spray. Do do the whole board. Take out every component. Take out your hard drive. Take out your CD-ROM. Check and see where the liquid um, is. Where did it go to? Where did it dry up? Where did it leave a trail? Those are the most important places that you want to get clean, because like I said, if it dries up, in which you don't want it to dry up, because if it dries up, it can start to oxidize, and depending on the type of metal that it dried up on, it can cause it to rust. And if it starts to rust, it can lose its connection over time. So then at that point, if it's an electronic trace and rust has gotten to it to where it's broken the trace, then you may have to replace the whole board. You may have to replace that whole component that it rusted out. It may have been a microprocessor, and one of the leads or a few of the leads may have rusted and they lost their connection. So you want to make sure that you get that taken care of as soon as possible by having the board cleaned out. All right. Now, in the case that somebody has this to happen and they need it done, I can do this as well. I don't have the $40 can of LPS, but I will get my hands on a few reasonable price and make sure that it's not expensive. I wouldn't get a $40 can. I think this one was probably $30. $30, and I used it. I used it whenever I needed it. I didn't use it up a whole lot, and I think I may have only owned 2 cans, or actually used 2 cans in my lifetime. So I make sure that you get something like this and keep it on. And even you may use it time to time just to clean out faders and stuff, because you can use them to clean out faders. It doesn't make the faders slippery and buttery, but it does clean out your stuff. And electronics need to be cleaned too. All right, so next, another thing that you can use to prevent um, the spill from happening so quickly. And where is the one that I had? Is get you a keyboard cover. And the one that I have is, I have actually two. I have one that's like an actual Mac keyboard cover, and then I have this one right here, which I found the box. You may not be able to see it. It's iSkin, and this is the keyboard cover for Scratch Live. It has all the Scratch Live. It has all the Scratch Live shortcuts and keys on it. But what is it? I just had it. Wait a minute. Hold on. I think I know why I left it. All right. Hold on. Turn that down. All right, now this right here, and I've had this for sale. I don't really use it, but this is a Scratch Live keyboard cover, and as you can see, it's like plastic, or more like a gel. It doesn't stick to the keys, which if you're going to use it, and if you want it to stay there permanently, and the reason that I don't use it that much is because whenever you close your screen, the grease and oils and stuff from that you have on this gets on your screen, and you can see an imprint. But if you need it to where you want your keys, and it doesn't fully protect it, but it will prevent and hold some of that liquid and keep it from draining. Now, if you take some adhesive or something, maybe like a very thin application of, and I would say like hot glue or whatever, maybe tack it down in certain places, the corners or whatever, to keep it stable, then it will keep it from getting liquid inside. Now, I can pour a little. Of course, I'm not going to do this. I can pour a little bit of liquid on here, and as long as I don't have any holes in this, it will hold the liquid, which is what you want. But now, in the event that you have liquid that gets around the side through the speakers, through the trackpad or whatever, then it doesn't serve a purpose. But it can prevent from dust, oils, any other type of liquid, anything else to get in with hair, anything to prevent from getting in your keys. Now, I'll see if I can find the link for, well, not this, but the regular one, because the one that I had, it came with it was an actual keyboard cover, or excuse me, it was a MacBook cover. It was a cover, and it came with the skin for the keys. So make sure that you have that. Okay. Yep. What's up? Now, how does those? Let me ask you this. What with what I listed on the covers? Do you have the same issues with the covers? Like when you close your screen and you open it up, you have to clean it because you can see the imprint of the keys on it from where the oil gets on it and it imprints it onto the screen. That's the only reason I took mine off. I took mine off because whenever I closed it, and at that time I probably closed it more than what I do now, is that you have to wipe the screen off because you see imprints of the keys on there, especially the ones that you use the most, where the oils on your fingers get on there and then it transfer onto the screen. Let's see. Let's come save me. Save me. Yep, and they will. Okay, yep, he was saying the same. And that's probably the only flaw that I can say about these is that because since they're not recessed or that they're raised up from your keyboard, they add a little bit more thickness that whenever you close your screen, it makes contact. And it's more like you're sandwiching it on top. So those oils and liquids off your hand, when you open that lid back up, it's now on your screen and you can see that imprint. All right, let's see. After the water splash, I got over what I got over what it left on the screen real quick. Yep. So testimony from two other people. These will work. These will work. And like I said, that the one that I had was a cover. It was for a 13. It was for a cover. It was black. Uh, Covered the lid and covered the bottle. And then it came with one of these, and I can't find it. I don't know what I did with it, but I have it somewhere. But that's one thing that you want to have right there. Let's see what else. Oh, of course, at this time right now, everybody needs some type of disinfectant wipes to wipe stuff down. Of course, probably won't have this size container with you, but you will have more of a personal size. So if in the event that you have yes, in the event that you need to wipe down stuff real quick, and even when you're using this, you can wipe this down and make sure that you keep it clean. So that's another thing. Make sure that you have wipes in your bag. Let's see what I want to get into next. Let's see. I think I want to get into something technical. And let me ask you this question, guys. Do anybody know? And I'm gonna give you a second. I'm gonna take a drink real quick when I ask this. Why you would need a few? Okay, zoom in, camera. So camera has gone out of zoom. All right. Okay, there we go. Sometimes we got to bring it back in the zoom. Do you know why, besides for mics or whatever, you might need a few of these 9-volt batteries in your tube bag? Do you know what you can do with these in a troubleshooting case? right, I'm gonna give you a second. Let me see. Let me see who comes up with the answer about this. And I've mentioned this several times before too about having 9-volt batteries on hand to prevent or to troubleshoot an issue. Let me see who comes up with the solution of what can you use it on and how do you use it. All right. While I'm waiting on that, let me pull up another link that I need to pull up for something else in a few minutes. Okay. That. Now the question is 9-volt batteries. How can they help you in a troubleshooting case? Now, Eric, can you tell me that? Eric, who's here? Let's see. Eric, Steven, and Dirty. Can you tell me how this can help you in a troubleshooting case using a 9-volt battery? And you guys know that I'm like the MacGyver or the Blackgyver when it comes to troubleshooting and working on stuff. I take whatever is in the vicinity. I can look around and see what I can use in order to solve an issue. You know, whether it's running cables or adapters or whatever. So I want to see if anybody knows what you can do with a 9-volt battery. And so, nope, not phantom power. Nope, not phantom power. All right, let's see. Yep, Black Guyver. I mean, college, that's what they used to call me. And when I was at Mississippi State, I was Black Guyver. And the reason why is we, on freshman year, we used to prank a whole lot. Everybody on our hall. And I came up with a way to where I can lock you in your room and out of your room with a penny. There was a way that I can put a penny in your door. If you was inside, you couldn't get out. If you was outside, you couldn't get in. So that was the thing right there. And it was other stuff. Even before surround sound was a real big thing, I used to create surround sound. I took a 13-inch tube type TV, and it didn't have RCA ports on it for audio out. I took a headphone jack and wired it inside to the speaker and made it to, and then also hooked it. I also had a boom box, and I think the boom box had RCA ports on it for input, like maybe to add a CD player or something like that. And I would hook that up to the TV, and that provided the surround sound for the TV. So yeah, I used to do a lot of crazy stuff like that back in college, and even growing up, I used to reverse engineer all my toys. I used to take. I remember some of them now. I used to be curious enough. I would take it apart, find out how it works, put it back together. And then for those that I couldn't get back together, I would save the parts and use them for something else later on. But anyway, all right, here's the answer. 9-volt battery. Why you want to have extra 9-volt batteries? Now, in the case that you have a speaker that's going down, now this may not apply to a gig or whatever, because you may not have time to do this unless if you're using a passive system, you can do this. But if you're doing, if you're on an active or powered system, you won't be able to do this until maybe later or whatever. You could use a 9-volt battery to test if a speaker is blown, especially a sub. Now, what you do, and it's real simple. You take you get the terminal, you take the speaker out. If you got the sub, and I don't have one here to do that. No, I don't have one here to do it. But you take the positive and the negative on the 9-volt battery and you touch it across. You probably would usually do this by connecting leads to it or wires or whatever. But you can do, if you can get it, you can probably do it directly. And you tap it across the terminal, positive against positive, negative against negative, and you only doing it for a second. And what you're looking for that cone to push out. Either if you have it in positive configuration, which means positive, positive, negative, negative, then it's pushing out. Now, if you have it, the battery reverse, where negative is on positive and positive is on negative, it's going to pull in. But you really want to have it to where it pushes out. So if you want to know and what this does, this separates whether the issue is an amplifier, a crossover, or whatever, something before the speaker, or if it's the speaker itself. When you put this across the terminal, if that cone pushes out, then it's on the amplifier side. It's on the electronic side before the speaker. Now, if you tap it across and it doesn't move, it doesn't push, then the speaker is most likely blown, which in most cases, the cone is on it. The voice coil or the cone, usually the voice coil is what goes bad in the speaker. It burns out real quick because all it is, it's just a large number of windings that's around a metal pole, and each time that a frequency or whatever, it sends a signal that pushes it out and it produces a frequency. So by doing this, by tapping, you send in a 9-volt or somewhere between 9-volt and less, which you may be better off using a used 9-volt, something that has less power and you're not providing a whole lot to where it's pushing out. Now, in the cases, like say for instance, if you do it and it pushes out, then the speaker's good. Now, in the event that you push it, you tap it and it pushes, but there's some type of resistance or you hear some type of scraping noise, then that voice coil is going bad. And what happens when the voice coil goes bad, the heat will cause it to either the leads, the windings will break or they will fuse and weld together. Now, in the event where they weld together, where they solder together or merge or whatever, those coils scrape up against the pole. So if you push that cone in and out and you hear like a scraping sound, then that's usually the case. And how you can fix that is just have the speaker recone. You can either have it replaced or you can have it recone. And usually reconing it is a lot cheaper, but if you never did it before, it can be it could be it's something for more the immediate. You don't have to be professional to do it. If you're an amateur and never done it before and you want to try it, you can. The most important thing that you need to know about recording a speaker is making sure that it's clean. You have to clean off everything. You have to clean it and make sure it's clean. Once you scrape everything off, then you need to wipe it down before you apply the new cone. And you need to let it sit because it comes with a glue or epoxy, and you need to let that sit for like a day or two before you can start using it. But I mean, they're usually not easy. The recone kits can run from, let's say if you're doing a 12-inch, they can be from $30, $40 on up. And it depends on the speaker too. It depends on the speaker and the power. So you may want to look, either find out how much it will be to replace, find out how much it'll be to recall. And then you can decide there as for which one that you want to do. Now I could do reconing too. So if anybody that needs to be done reconing. Yep, and you said you okay, so you remember it, the battery. Now usually what you would do, okay, chicken, is it done? Uh, is there a root beer? Hit me up. If not, give me water. Matter of fact, open that Dr. K. I'm thirsty.
But I thought that was for.
Oh, that's good. Nice and juicy. All right, so that's what you could use in that case. 9-volt battery, usually a used one, something that's maybe 5 volts. If it has 5 volts or higher, then that's what you want to use. Now, how do I know if my 9-volt is 5 volts or what? Now I'm going to the next item. Now, with me being electronic tech, I've been electronic tech since I've been doing electronics since I was probably Christian's age, or no, younger, 7 or 8. When I used to take stuff apart, I used to go to Radio Shack. I had the electronic kits where you can put stuff together. You had breadboards and stuff. I'm looking to get one of those now. I saw one somebody was giving away. It was about an hour's drive to get it. I wanted it, and they gave it away. I was going to even buy it from the person that they gave it to. But that's what I need to look that up in a little bit. You got some more? Or that's all that?
Well, I dropped the last one.
No, I'm talking about the chicken.
No, there's a lot.
Huh?
You made a thing with it.
I'll come and get some in a minute. But anyway, I've been doing electronics for like several years. My degree is in electronic. I have associates. I have a few years that I spent at DeVry for electronic technology engineering or whatever, something like that. I didn't finish because then I started working at Bell South as an electronic technician. And so most of everything I've been doing is electronics. Computers, I started getting into computers when I worked at Best Buy. And I don't know if you remember, this is before the Geek Squad era. This is like late 90s, early 2000s. You had, when you went to Best Buy, there was 2 departments. There was the tech bench, and then there was computer tech bench. They were always separate but near each other. I used to work in the tech bench. I used to be the guy that you bring stuff to that you had issues. I'd work on TV sometimes, depending if it was something that could be done in the store that I could handle there in the store, and also VCR cleanings and CD cleanings and all that other stuff. I was a person at that time that I could do everything. And I used to walk over and watch the guys in computers, and I used to learn by watching them, and so forth like that. Then maybe like a year or two later, they combined both departments, and it still was before Geek Squad. They combined both departments, and it was just the tech bench. So now you had guys that only knew computers that had to talk to customers about electronics, stuff that they didn't know about, like how to hook up a washer and dryer, how to do things about car stereos, the right power, and stuff like that. I was a person. I knew how to do. I could work in any department in the store. I could be a salesperson in any department in the store and be able to tell a customer as for how to break stuff down. So now you have it to where both departments are merged. There is no tech bench. There's no computer tech bench. There's just Best Buy Tech. So, like I said, you had the computer guys that didn't know the electronics. So, guess who? When I was working, guess who they used to call? Me. Hey, Ken, I got a customer over here that want to ask about this car stereo, if it, blah, 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 whatever, with this home theater system. Then I would get called over. And then you had me that knew electronics, but was still learning computers. So I picked up what they knew quickly to where I was the valuable asset of the group or whatever. So I had managers, I had store associates, I had customers that would come in and that asked for me specifically because they knew that I've taken care of them or whatever. So I enjoyed my time working at Best Buy. Geek Squad is a little bit different. I thought about applying, but it's not the same. So yeah, I don't got completely off the topic. But here is what I want to talk about next that Eric has mentioned, which is multimeter, which I have mine right here. This is my Fluke. Which model is this? This is an ET77. Guys, this is older than my kids. I've had this since, let's see, it's at least 25 years old. And out of the several multimeters that I have, this is the one that I use the most. And with a multimeter, having one of these in your gear bag is, man, you can do a lot. You can do from checking those batteries, your mic batteries, like, okay, this mic is not working. Why is this mic not working? So then you put your leads on it, and then you find out that your battery, and I got the leads reversed. That's why it's showing a negative. But anyway, that your battery is low or your battery is dead. So that's one thing that you can do. You can check batteries. And this is probably one of the most important use besides what I use it for now that I use it for is checking batteries before I toss them and throw them away. Another thing that you can do when you're doing your walkthroughs, when you're doing a walkthrough of a venue, especially if you're doing one that's like an old building or that you've never done before, you may want to walk through and put it. Now, when you're doing the batteries, you want to make sure that you have it on the DC setting, which is this setting right here. That's on the DC setting. Now, whenever you're doing anything like electrical wiring or whatever, you want to have it on the AC setting, which is alternating current, which is right here that has the sine wave. Now, what you would use this for is that, say for instance, if you're doing old buildings that were made in like the 60s, 70s, or maybe even older, that have the outlets are all two-prong plugs, you want to make sure that the outlets are hot and working and that they're not providing any type of excessive voltage out of them. So you would stick these in there and you would check, and either you're looking for 120 or 110 or somewhere in that range. You don't want anything that's too much higher or too much lower because it can cause damage to your equipment. So those are the two things. AC for checking wiring in your venues, DC for checking batteries, and then also checking power between other sources. If you have stuff that's more on the DC type side, that run off batteries or whatever, or even power adapters for maybe like if you have mixers that have warts or whatever. You can also check your chargers, your laptop chargers, anything. You can check anything, and DC is probably the one the setting that you're going to have it on in order to do that testing. Now, there's another setting that most DJs would use, and that will be, you could either use ohms, which is like the omega symbol that's resistance, that's for resistance. Or if you have a meter like this one, which is the best one to use, right here, that symbol, that white symbol right there, that is a diode. But that's not what you're going to test. It's this right here next to it, which is a tone. That's called continuity. And what you want to do there, you're testing for an open or a short. If something is short, it's going to give you a beeping tone. If it's open, that means it's not connected. So if you have something that needs to be connected and that point is broken, then you're going to have an ohm. You're not going to get a beep or a tone. But if it's connected like it's supposed to, then it's going to work as usual. So this is, we put it closer so you can hear the sound. Because it's kind of low. Thing is on. Wait. Put it on. May or may not be able to hear it because it's I got it next to the mic. Let me see. Okay, you may be able to hear it slightly. But anyway, you would use this to check cables. Like if you have a cable that's gone bad, like a speaker cable or whatever, you take both ends of it. And let me see, I think I may have all right, here I have an XLR cable, which is a 3-pin cable. Now, in the event that my mic is not working, I would take this cable and to test it, I will put, and they're numbered. They're usually on the case. They're usually numbered with a hot, ground, and cold, or hot, ground, and neutral. So with this one, they're numbered. So I'm gonna go by the number. I'm gonna stick one lead into the one that says 1, and then on the other one, I'm gonna find that lead, which is gonna be on the opposite side. I stuck it in the one on my left. So in order to test it on this cable, I need to make contact with the one on the right, because if I put the cable inside each other, it's not going to be the way that it's shown right here. So at this point, then I take my red lead and then I touch where that connection is, and you see I get a tone. Now, if I touch the other ones, I shouldn't have anything. In the event that I do, if I touch the middle one, and I have a tone, then that means something is shorted. That means something is bridged across where it's supposed to be and making contact where it's not supposed to. But that's what you want to do when you're testing. Don't just test the one that you meant to test, but also check across the other ones to make sure that it's not bridged or that it's not shorted across to them as well. So now I've tested the first one. I'm going into the middle one, which is the center pin. That's good. And I'm also test the one to the left and right of it too. Make sure it's not. Okay, that one's not. And that was not. Let me see if I can let's see. This is the one right here that I'm testing. And I could test this one too. And I can't see it. So, okay, that one's supposed to be nothing. And go over here to the other side. That one should be testing the thing. Now, I'm going to test the last one, which is on the left. No, it's on the right to me. It's on my right side, but with me holding it out, it should be this one over here on the left. All right, let's see if I can get this. Should be this one. Or wait. There we go. I wasn't touching it right. It's going to be on the opposite side for me. Right there. And I'm going to check the middle one. And I'm going to check the left one. Wait, nope, right side. So this is the one right here. So this cable is good. In the case that when I was checking across a lead and I didn't get a sound, then that means that wire is broken. Now, if I checked across a lead and I got sounds on multiple pins, then there's a short, and this cable is most likely bad. And sometimes you can fix these cables. It depends on if they can be taken apart. Like this one, I can take this one apart, and if it's not in the actual cable, see, I can take this apart and I can fix it if needed be. But in some cables, they're completely sealed to where you can't take them apart. Okay. All right. Okay, I may need to work on this later. I'll open up a can of worms. Yeah, I'm gonna do that later. But anyway, in some cases, some cables are completely sealed to where you can't take them loose. So it's just better to toss it and just replace that cable. Now you can also do it on speaker cables if you're doing like an analog system. If you have an analog and you just have two wires, then you want to check each wire. You want to check the wire from where you have it connected and uh, where you're testing from. Now, an easy way to do this without taking the wires loose and pulling them down, you can take the to where you have the speaker connected, and if it's just bare wires, um, twist them together, twist them together, go back to the other end, and take the positive and negative from that. Now, if you get a beep, then that wire, when you twist them together, you creating one big long wire. One wire runs all the way to the speaker, and then you connect it to where it's twisted to the other one, and that one is running a signal all the way back. So, say for instance, if that's a 25-foot cable, then you just made it into a 50 because you got one end and then you got the other end and you connected it down at the end, which means that it just runs as one long wire, and that's an easy way to get that one resolved. That there. This one is for why it has the clamp. That is for high voltage AC circuits. That clamp. I need to get one of those because I had some work orders on refrigeration, working on coolers, and this is the type meter that they require for that. This one right here is for automotive, but it will work in this case. So these two, I would I wouldn't get these for that purpose. Uh, this one, as for the most basic, this one is the one, and I have a lot of these. This one right here is probably the one that will work best because you can buy. They usually have coupons, and you may have to search for them. If I can find one, I will post it. But you can find coupons for this one where you can buy a pack of batteries. You could buy a dollar flashlight. You could buy any item, and you can get one of these free. Yes, they're $6 or whatever, but you can get it free and it works straight out. Batteries in it, it has your leads. It's not as good as my Fluke, but for stuff for like battery. 200 to increase the value. So pick it up. Now with the DC with the AC, here is the AC right here. The AC you want to set it on 200. 200 will give you your normal operating voltage of 120 or 110 or whatever. You won't need to do it on 750 because that'll be too much. So those will be the most used ones on here, and then they're smaller and lighter, and so you can easily put that one into a bag easily. So I would recommend getting that one for just basic stuff. And what I used to do, when I had the free one, I get one. I keep one in almost every car. I keep one in the garage. I have one in the basement. I have one in the battery where we keep the drawer where we keep the batteries, so we can test batteries on the spot right there. You just want to make sure that you have one, and even if you get some for your gig bag, you can put one in your gig bag and keep one in your car. Make sure that you always have one on handy because you never know when you might need it. And this will be the one that you can use to troubleshoot most of your issues. So that is about it. If you guys got any other questions, I am almost into 2 hours. Wow. And so I can wrap this up. Let me go and let me look at the other one. Because this one has a lot more functions. You may not need this one. This one right here is going to be close to this size. And it's going to have a lot more stuff on there that you're not going to use, and you're going to have to turn the dial to be more specific. Now, if you want to get one of the big boys, then the name that you want to look for is Fluke. Like I said, it's not cheap. I think I paid $30 for this one, which was a good deal from a pawn shop. And I've had it for years. I haven't got a second one yet, but I need to look into doing it. Let's see which one. If you want to get one where you don't have to adjust the settings, here is one. And you see right here, it auto ranges to what you have it set to. This one, okay, here we go. Testing. This one may be better. Testing double A, triple A batteries, coin batteries. This one can use test 9 volt. This one is 12 volt. Or if you need to, okay, that's AC voltage, AC current. And I don't know about this one. And here's a chart that they have if you want to try to determine which one that you need. Well, like I said, you may not even need all this. The compact, and the electrical may be enough. The professional may be a little bit over the hill or overkill on it. So wouldn't really worry about those. Let me look at this one because I don't think I've seen this one. Whoa, it's a lot of stuff. This one even does temperature, impedance, hertz. I was looking for one that does that. Let's see. Uh, how much of a frequency? I don't see it. Should be listed. Okay, I need to look into this one to see how the frequency works. But anyway, that's it, guys. Anybody else have anything that they want to add? Real quick.
Today on the hookup, I'm going to take you on a tour of my extensive smart home setup and rank.
Okay, I went over the cleaners, contact spray, laptop covers, wipes. I'm sure there's some more stuff, but that's all I can think of right now. Not going to take up too much more of your time. Plus, I think I got some food in there waiting for me. So, thanks, guys, for tuning in. This is Ken Ellis, Atlanta DJ Zone Tech Tuesday Live. This topic right here was emergency essentials, necessities that you need while on the gig. If you have any other questions, you can hit me up. You can reply here into the comments on this post and I will get them. Or you can hit me up on Facebook, instant message, or whatever. The only other thing that I want to add real quick is for next week, I may go back to doing the broadcast directly from Facebook instead of doing them on YouTube, because when I try to edit these in YouTube, YouTube has an editor, but the editor is so weak and it doesn't work good. When I try to edit it, it just takes a lot longer than what it would as if I edit it outside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it live on Facebook and then download, edit it from Facebook, upload to YouTube. So the YouTube video that you may see next week may not be on Tuesday. It may be later in the week. So, but the live broadcast will be on Facebook, and I haven't decided whether I'm gonna do from my personal profile or if I'm gonna do from my page. And I think I may do it from my page because it's a lot easier. So if you're not on my page, if you don't have access to my page, make sure you do that. It's the same thing. Look up the name, is the name that you see right here, the kid. Look me up there, or see if you can find it by searching into my name or whatever. So that's wrap. That's a wrap. We done. Anything else? Cool. So this wraps it up for another Atlanta DJ Zone Tech Tuesday Live. You're here with the kid. I will catch y'all next week or whenever the next video comes out. Peace.